And looks like I'm live. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. And what's happening? Oh man, really late start today. Sorry. Still not finished all the things I want to do. Alright, little heads up on the channel, what I'm trying to do here. First off, today's my birthday. Like actual today, July 8th. I was born in 1975, so I'm 42 years old. That's right, I'm old. Psh, I'm good with it. What do you call it? My birthday present from all of you guys, I want to thank you very much. 1,000 plus subscribers. That is awesome. That is awesome. That actually puts me in a whole new league, a whole new level in the the YouTube world. Believe it or not, there's 0 to 1,000 subscribers, and then 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers. After that, it starts to get kind of ridiculous, psychosomatic, Alakazam, all that good stuff. But yeah. Anyway, geez, forget about it. So that's actually really cool. Let's see. So yeah, double happy, hoo-ha, good stuff there. Anyway, I got to see Spider-Man Homecoming, but I plan on going again because there was legitimately, guys, so much in there. I will give a very brief review right now. There will be zero spoilers except, and this is hardly spoilers if you've ever seen any Marvel movies before, it's that the end credits, there are actually 2 end credit scenes for that. All right, so there's the one mid-credit and the one after-credit scene. So yeah, don't leave until after you've seen the second after-credit scene, which is literally after the credits are finished. And then, by all means, walk out the movie theater. It's a funny one. It's not like the most important one in the world, but it is a really funny one. The mid-credit scene is the one that's actually kind of important. And it's the reason why I have my my next... Not Dave, this is Ted. What? What's going on here? Oh, jeez. Happy birthday, man. Enjoy it. Thanks. Oh, hey, Ted. What's going on? I think this is the first time you're in the chat, my chat. I will see you guys at 2 o'clock. I'm home today, so yay. Fraginator, what's up, man? One of the best freaking in-chat, actually the best in-chat role player I've ever met. Guys, the... Fraginator says, sorry, I assumed you were Dave, not Ted. Oh, man, well, at least you didn't assume his gender, right? That's like the big thing going on now. Anyway, that actually brings me to a reminder, guys, don't forget to check me out on Monday. Mondays at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. It's called UTC nowadays, not ETC, because it's something different now, and whatever. Anyway, New York and Toronto time, noon, on the Nerdicky channel, I run a Marvel Face Rick game. And on Fridays, yesterday, exact same time slot, 12 noon, you'll see me playing a game of Open Legend, sponsored game by Nerdicky. And after this chat is over, you will see me, if you want, over in the Nerdicky chat. I'll be talking and blah, 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 commenting on all the things, crazy things that they say and do. Anyway, and I always do those at the end of this chat also. So, anyway, I am putting up two things today. I'm actually putting up 2 things besides my podcast today. You guys know on Saturdays I always put up my podcast, and I put up an Explained in a Minute. The other Explained in a Minute goes up on Tuesdays. Last Tuesday I put up Thanos. It should actually be Thanos, but I'm so used to saying Thanos that whatever, it ain't going to change nothing. Based off of Thanatos, Greek god, all that good stuff. I did Thanos specifically because in the chat last week it was pointed out that it is going to be the 40th anniversary, I think it is, 20th anniversary of the Infinity Quest, the Thanos Quest, which is a 2-part story. It actually technically started in Silver Surfer 34 through 38. All right, so those 5 issues right there. Really important, as both of these together are the predecessors to the Infinity Gauntlet. And with Thanos being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's the ultimate big bad. Yeah, it's going to be kind of big. It's going to be kind of important. So everybody wants conversation about the Infinity Gauntlet in the first place, so I'm more than happy to comply. I was actually already planning on doing something like that in the first place, so I will be putting out multiple Explained in a Minutes for all the characters that are in the Thanos Quest. I actually wanted to do the In-Betweener today. I wanted him to go up, but I found out mid-credit scene, bit of a spoiler, there's going to be the prediction of the Scorpion, McDonald Mac Gargan, who is the Scorpion in the next Spider-Man movie. It's been rumored for a long time that he might even be in the Silver and Black, which is the non-Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, featuring the Silver Sable and the Black Cat. So, whatever. Either way, that's what my plan is right now. So I did the Scorpion today. It'll actually go up as soon as I'm finished here. I'll click in. At least it's not Drizzt. Oh, no, I do plan on doing Drizzt. Dick, yes, you're right. 44 through 50 of the Silver Surfer. That's going to be in the Infinity Gauntlet, which you could see up on top. I'll just simply give you the on top. That's my notes for the Infinity Gauntlet up there. I will give you nothing else. But the earlier Silver Surfer will be for the Thanos quest, and then that will lead into the Silver Surfer comics that you mentioned, which will lead into Infinity Gauntlet. I do believe I will be doing the Infinity War and Infinity Crusade also, even though they're not quite as good. I am a huge fan of the Cosmic Cubes, and having the goddess juggling 5 Cosmic Cubes at once, kind of sexy. Plus, I always get the question, which is more powerful, the Cosmic Cube or the Infinity Gauntlet? And again, that depends. It depends on how you look at power. Technically, the Infinity Gauntlet is way more powerful than the Cosmic Cube, but the Cosmic Cube is more powerful in this regard. Anything that the Infinity Gauntlet can do, the Cosmic Cube can do too, just on a slightly scaled down power set, while at this still makes you a cosmic entity, just not a superb cosmic entity. But they work in other dimensions, other universes, other multiverses, while the Infinity Gauntlet only works in your individual universes. So, yeah. Darkseid actually got his hands on an Infinity Gauntlet one time in the big crossovers that were happening between Marvel and DC, and it didn't work, so he's like, this thing's useless. He actually threw away the Infinity Gauntlet and says, well, if it doesn't work here, then it's useless. So, anyway, no, I do actually plan on doing Drizzt to Erden one of these days. I don't know if, whatever. Yes. What else is in the chat? Have to catch the rest of this later. No problem, Frag. I'll see you later, and thank you for the birthday wishes, brother. Infinity War was awesome. It was pretty good. Infinity Crusade was a little bit rushed. Anyway, guys, one of the things I want to talk about today is I'm going to go see, just really quick, I'm going to go and see Spider-Man Homecoming again tonight. I will be making fairly detailed notes, and I will do a spoiler-rific review. The way that my reviews always work, just as a reminder, is that the first 10 minutes or so is just me in general talking about the movie, spoiler-free. After that, I'm going to, wave my hands and all sorts of crazy fireworks, whatever, to let you know, okay, spoilers ahead, and everything from that point on will be all spoilers, and I'll talk for 20, 30 minutes about a freaking movie that I love. And yeah, I loved this movie. This was really good. There's so much in here. A lot of people talking about spoilers that could happen in the future. I think that a lot of the stuff that was in there was not necessarily for the future, just more like Easter eggs to say, hey, do you remember this from the comics? Do you remember this from the comics? I don't think we'll ever see this stuff in the future. So, plus why certain characters would have these items is a little questionable. You know what I mean? So, there's that. Happy trip around the sun, Professor. That's one way to look at it. Every time it's somebody's birthday, I was like, hey, congratulations for surviving another year. So, but I'm from Jersey. I'm a jerk like that. Anyway, Ted will bail when it's spoiler time. I've not seen it yet. Oh, it's all good, Ted. It's all good. I'm not going to do spoilers. I'm not going to do anything in this. I'm just simply going to say the movie was good. For my review tonight, wife is working today. Really good job opportunity, and she's doing a test to see if she's going to pass it. She'll pass it. She got the equivalent of a master's degree in the English language program, which is... it's better than mine, which is just a lousy certificate. She's freaking awesome, so I'm sure she's going to blow right past this. Holy crap! Manuel, what's up, man? Money on Marvel will make 8 more movies after this? Probably. Manuel, I'm really happy to see you in the chat today, man. I never see you in the chat. Anyway, so... what you call it? Yeah, so that's coming today. One of the things I want to talk about is something that came up between the wife and I, because we were sitting, we went and we watched the Mummy. We actually watched that last week, and it was just a whatever thing, you know what I'm saying? And it was actually pretty good. It wasn't great. By no means was this great, and there won't really be spoilers in this. Realistically, by now you're either going to see the movie or not, but I'm not planning on actually giving any kind of details about the movie. There's a really good one that I kind of do want to give, but I'm not going to, because honestly, it's good enough that I think that it kind of makes the movie, and it happens right at the very end. Not giving that away. It's too good to give it away. I genuinely believe that you guys should go and see the movie. Like if there's a day, like I know up here in Toronto at least, I don't know about the rest of Canada, on Tuesdays you can get into a movie at discounted price. But regardless, I know on in the States, back in the States, if you went for the early bird special, so to speak, that's what we call it in Jersey, you get discounted tickets also. So, or you go to Johnny Rockets and buy a meal and get a discounted ticket. All sorts of ways to get discounted tickets. Get a discounted ticket, go watch the movie. It's worth it. It was a fun flick. The biggest problem I had with it was that everything about it, and this is what I really want to discuss and compare it with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And also, unfortunately, it's going to bring the DC Universe in on it also. If you have a movie, like for instance, there's supposed to be the Dark Universe concept in the movie, the Mummy movies, all right? Universal Studios has and always will own the property rights to the Universal monsters, right? We're talking about the original one is Frankenstein. The original really big one is Frankenstein, but Dracula, all right, which was not the first vampire movie. That was actually Nosferatu, played by Max Schreck. That is huge. Big tip there. I actually kept that devoted to trivia memory by reading the original 12, not Ravenloft, the World of Darkness books. That was like the key word for the Nosferatu, for you to know that the Nosferatu was talking to you. It's like, oh, code word Max Schreck, because he was, anyway. So, trivia knowledge for more nerdy stuff that I absolutely love. Spider-Man could be a new Harry Potter. Nosferatu is awesome. Spider-Man could be a new... It's funny, I just bought my wife a Harry Potter toy yesterday. She wanted toys for her desk at work because she sees all my stuff. She wants toys for her desk. And she also stole my TARDIS. Actually stole my TARDIS. Unbelievable. Couldn't even remember what the damn thing was called. Stole my TARDIS anyway. Man, we're such pushovers. Anyway, so... what do you call it? The Dark Universe is basically going to involve, for a fact, the Invisible Man, which should be really cool. Obviously, the Mummy, which just appeared here, starring Tom Cruise. Should have the Bride of Frankenstein is actually supposed to be the next one, which is a very bold choice. I have to give them credit just for even announcing this is going to be their next movie. Like, not Frankenstein, but the Bride of Frankenstein. Okay, cool. You're going to have a female monster as your head. I'm impressed. That's a bold direction. Plus, you think about it, the Mummy here was a female too. That's ballsy, right? In today's market, where literally people complain that female toys aren't made for some of the Avengers, so they put out the female toys. You go to the store. You don't need empirical evidence beyond going to the stores and seeing that they'll be sold out of all the toys, but the female toys will still be there. That's the reason why the female toys don't get put out. People aren't buying them. It's like appease the masses or just try and make money. It's a hard bet. It's a hard sell. Shadow of the Vampire. Oh, really good stuff. Ooh, you will not. Dick Fillmore doesn't have to punch me in the head for not seeing that. Yes, I did see that. Good stuff. The film with William Dafoe playing Max Schreck as a real vampire. Awesome. Yes, yeah. It was actually really good. I did like that. That was actually put together just so well. I feel that should be considered one of the modern masterpieces of film. Like along with, I'm going to say it, along with Citizen Kane. Really was good. Just the way they put it together. Just my opinion. Why do I feel that the Dark Universes will be League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but with monsters? Oh, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, the movie, actually did have monsters, and that could have been something great. Gotta go back. Gotta love. I'm back. Gotta love shirking responsibility. I know you're putting in carburetors and all that good stuff. I used to work as auto mechanics too in Sears back in Jersey. Anyway, and plus my family, both sides, really big into fixing cars. So yeah, I'm sure I could put together a car if I actually had the garage space, and I do want to do that one of these days. I want to find, if I find a good frame, I will put together a car one of these days. That will be my love. Anyway, making it legal, that's another thing. So, what do you call it? I League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is actually a really good way of looking at this, because that was a good way to bring a whole bunch of monsters together, but all in one movie. So it was kind of, it was great, but actually doing it organically, movie by movie, almost like it's a series, would actually be pretty impressive. And if they could pull it off, it would be great. Here's the thing about it. It felt inorganic. It felt rushed, even though there's only the one monster in it, the mummy. But you also had Dr. Jekyll in it. I mean, he was, for crying out loud, they announced him. He was in every single one of the trailers, every one of them. And, whatever, man. But every single time that he showed up in the film, you could tell it was a push and a reminder. Hey guys, I'm here again to remind you that pretty soon we're going to have, I don't know if anybody remembers the old, again, 42 years old, I remember the old drive-in movie theaters where you would actually have the, on screen, the guy come up and saying, for intermission, hey guys, while we're waiting for the second half of the movie to play, or most of the time it was just, hey, if you're waiting for the second movie to play, excuse me, they didn't do the second half of the movie since, Cecil B. DeMille's second version of the Ten Commandments. But Ben-Hur might have done that too, but I didn't actually see that same time. Anyway, yes, they would have the guy for the drive-in movie theater to be like, hey guys, while we're waiting for the second movie to play, why don't you consider checking out our concession stands? We've got nice fresh popcorn. Ooh, and get a nice Coca-Cola. And they just, trying to wet your palate, and things like that. It's like, okay, dude, relax. So I really did feel like he was the intermission guy. Dr. Jekyll was playing the intermission guy, which is like, okay, yes, we're going to get the Invisible Man. We're going to get Bride of Frankenstein. We're going to get you. That's so, yay. Russell Crowe is actually playing Dr. Jekyll. It's like, that's cute, but, could you stop? I'm going to give you an example of the proper way to do it, because you saw Batman versus Superman. All right? Batman versus Superman was a good, what was it, 6 or 7 minutes of Batman versus Superman. All the rest was other stuff, unless you got the extended edition, in which case it was 12 minutes, yay, of Batman versus Superman, which, who cares? It's still not enough. It's nothing. I made out in a drive-in in 1994. Nice. The last drive-in movie theater I saw was actually in New Jersey. Howell Township, or Hazlitt. I think it was Howell, New Jersey, and it was the 1989 Batman with Michael Keaton. So there's that. But I was in 9th grade. I was not in 9th grade. I was in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. One of those, and I wasn't making out with anybody. But there's a little jealousy there. Anyway, so I remember sneaking in with my father. My father and my sister would be underneath blankets in the back seat. This guy would be like, yeah, I'm just coming in to see the movie by myself, because you got charged per person, not per car, which was interesting. So anyway, you look at the Batman vs. Superman movies, all right? And what do you got? You got all these different things like, okay, let's take a time out and introduce the other superheroes that are going to be joining the movie. But we'll do it by email. Did that really just happen? Yeah, it's on film. I can go back and show you the literal film evidence. That actually happened. And then, you have the Flash coming up, and they're like, oh, here's stuff for the future. Look, Batman fighting parademons with, and it's Gaslight Batman of all things, I liked Gaslight Batman, but not fighting in the future. I was like, what does he even have the freaking cape and cowl on for at this point? Just, there was so much setting up for the next movie, and that was actually the reason, mind you, why Joss Whedon left the the MCU. Because doing Avengers Age of Ultron, he's like, it's hard enough having all these characters in here, but also setting things up for the future. Like, case in point, that whole thing, everybody's like, what was that thing with Thor in the well? Exactly. What was that whole thing with Thor in the well? But he had to put it in there. And apparently that's going to have something to do with Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, all those years ago, all those years in between, Marvel felt the need to force that in. Probably not such a great idea. And all the different things that had to be set up for these guys. Like, it's just kind of not cool. Kind of not cool. Maybe all these guys are going to have to face their fears again when Thanos pulls out the Infinity Gauntlet on them in the Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, right? Maybe he's going to make them all face their worst fears like that, you know? Whatever. In the meantime, Joss Whedon felt rushed. He felt pushed. He felt that, you know, you're forcing me to put in things that don't have anything to do with this movie, and I need to focus on this movie because I got all these characters I'm dealing with. So, look, the Russo brothers did it great. They did it better, you know, realistically, but Joss, whatever, man. If he says that it was too much, then it was too much. Plus, Captain America Civil War didn't have anything to do with setting up the future, really. It really didn't. So, there's that. Anyway, yeah, setups aside, look at the way that Iron Man did it. All right, you look at the first Iron Man movie. Guys, I remember going to see the first Iron Man movie, and I'm not a fan of Iron Man, but I thought, whatever, it's a Marvel movie, I'm going to go and support this. At the time, I didn't even understand that this was the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. All right, because I remember going in and seeing Blade, and like, I'm that guy, mind you, like, everybody's saying, oh, the X-Men was the big, you know, turner for every, because like, if you saw, a lot of people don't know there was a Swamp Thing movie. There was a Swamp Thing movie. What do you call it? The Swamp Thing, Man Thing, Swamp Thing, Man Thing, the Marvel one. Wait, how am I forgetting this? Man Thing. Yeah, Man Thing. Sorry, everybody knows the Swamp Thing movies and the TV show and the cartoon, but no, Man Thing, who actually came out like a month before, I think a year before. Swamp Thing. Anyway, the LexCorp designed 2 hero symbols. Yeah, Josh messed up with Black Widow, but yeah, he did. He did mess up with that romance. It was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary to have that there. Regardless, you had he should have been focused on the larger MCU arc. Yeah, he should have. He absolutely should have. But he wasn't allowed to. He wasn't allowed to. So what are you going to do? But hey, at least he didn't Josh Trank it. Just saying. Fan four stick. So. When you had the Iron Man movie, all right, I went to see this, and I did have a bunch of my friends who wanted to go with me because, you know, they know that I'm the trivia guy. When a bunch of us went to see Blade, we were just sitting there, and, you know, they're like, whoa, Wesley Snipes, this is actually a really good movie, dude. Like, this is a really good movie. It's like, yeah, I'm surprised that they made this movie. Like, why? I was like, well, because he wasn't a particularly good comic book character. I mean, he was created by, I know Gene Colan. He's my favorite Marvel artist in all time. I know I always put emphasis on, what do you call it, Jack Kirby, because, yeah, he was absolutely revolutionary. But everybody at the time had to follow the Jack Kirby style of writing. Jack Kirby would actually make overlays, and people would make their comics, their pictures based on the overlay. Even DC started doing it, for crying out loud. And when they finally got Kirby, it's like, whoa! So yeah, big deal. But I like Gene Colan better, in the sense that he did do action scenes better. Kirby would eventually learn how to do that, but Colan did action scenes much better. Movement, it just, when you look at that old Daredevil stuff, it's mind-bogglingly orgasmic. It's amazing the way he did this stuff. And a little bit of trivia, he's the only person in Marvel who did not have to do the Jack Kirby overlays. Yeah, so there's that. Just saying. He was actually unique enough that nobody asked him to do that, but he is one of the co-creators. Oh, Marv Wolfman. Marv Wolfman is actually the guy who also created Bullseye and beloved characters like that. What do you call it? Gene Colan was actually also responsible for doing characters like the Falcon, the very first African American character in comic books. You know, to actually have his name up there. He came after Black Panther, but he was an African character. He also is one of the co-creators of Killer Croc, who he admits he did take from Stan Lee and Steve Ditko's The Lizard, but still, he was part of Killer Croc. He did make it very different, but similar enough. He never had a tail. There's that. And he was a lot smarter in that first appearance than anything else. But still, who knew that Blade, of all people, he was just this guy with an afro and a pair of colored goggles on, who had wooden stakes across a bandolier on his chest and a brown, bomber jacket, literally with the fur around the neck, and a pair of, I think, like brown or green jeans. I think they were a mixture of both. Excuse me, appeared in, I think it was issue number 7 of Tomb of Dracula. And like, dude, you just showed up out of nowhere, and he was awesome. He was awesome, but he wasn't the Blade that we saw from the movies. That was a completely different kind of Blade where I literally watched this like, is this the right Blade? Yeah, Eric and wow, Eric Brooks. That's actually Blade. Holy crap, that was amazing. So, yeah, I'm sorry, X-Men was great, but the only reason why X-Men was made was because they tried on Blade, and it worked. It worked geniusly. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Crap, I might have to go out and watch that movie again now. Like, it's just, the first two were great. The third one wasn't bad. That was the first comic book role that Deadpool, what's his name? Played Deadpool. That guy who played Deadpool. Why don't I remember his name right now? Anyway, him, Canadian guy. I'm almost there. Whatever, somebody will say it in the chat and I'll go, oh, duh, that's who it was. Anyway, anyway, that movie, just the original Blade movie, was off the charts amazing, right? And I'm the guy who was saying, eventually, like, there were a lot of people in the movie theater who were just like, hold on, wait, this is a comic book character? I'm like, dude, yeah, this is actually a comic book character. Like, there's no doubt. That's actually comic book Blade. But he wasn't nearly this cool in the comics. Like, he kind of sucked, But whatever. And all of a sudden, he's now this amazing character. And every single time somebody draws him, whether it's in the Fox Spider-Man movie, Ryan Reynolds, thank you, Dick. What do you call it? Ryan Reynolds. So, and now I know what the delay is on here. But yeah, like, it was just so mind-boggling, amazing, and I'm sitting here explaining this stuff, and I wouldn't say half the movie theater, but legit, there are, like, several people, couples, families, like, with kids coming over, so I'm, like, watching my language, that movie came out, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's actually legit, you can go and see this stuff, and all of a sudden they start putting it in the cartoons, and it's this version of Blade. In the comics, he becomes this version of Blade. I think that actually, did that start with the, I can't remember if it was with the Midnight Suns. But anyway, I don't remember if he was actually in the Midnight Suns storyline with the Darkhold and what do you call it? The Ghost Riders, both of them, Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch. What do you call it? Doctor Strange was in it, kind-ish. He was technically in it, but he wasn't in it. Just a name. But yeah, a bunch of characters like that. I think that Blade was in it, but I actually can't recall right now. Either way, he suddenly became a pretty big deal. And now everybody, myself included, we're clamoring. Holy crap, Marvel's got Blade back? Okay, well, we've seen... They got him back the same time they got Daredevil and the Punisher back in the exact same fell swoop. So it's like, okay, we've seen the Punisher. We're going to see him again. I think September? Is it September? No, September is going to be on Netflix. September will be The Defenders. December will be The Punisher. Yeah, so we're getting that. That's actually a thing. That's going to happen now. We've clearly already seen Daredevil. Also Ghost Rider came after that or the same time. I forget why Ghost Rider came to us so fast. Ghost Rider came us. Oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. I sound like I'm a huge sports fanatic, right? Like, oh yeah, man, Oilers were playing last night and we won. Like, are you on the team? Sorry if you watch sports, but that's always bugged me. But yeah, they actually came back to Marvel, and it's like, yay! So yeah, we, the fans, we got him back. Anyway, so we have seen Ghost Rider, in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., and he was amazing. Both of them. They did actually show the Johnny Blade version in Johnny Blaze version in episode 4, I think it was. Maybe it was earlier, but anyway. But we haven't seen Blade yet, and there's a lot of talk. Kevin Feige is currently talking about, hopefully within the next year, you will see him in the big screen. Love it. So... anyways, there's that, and that's a huge deal. Somehow this got really off the topic from talking about the Mummy Dark Universe. The thing about Mummy's Dark Universe is, rather than just kind of forcing it on us, look at how Iron Man did, right? Which I again, that's how we got onto it, because I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man, but I thought, they're going to do a Marvel movie, I'm going to go and check it out. You know what I'm saying? And it was sublime. It was absolutely sublime. You can go back and watch that today, right? And Blade. Go back and watch them both. They're both good. equally as good. You know what I'm saying? They both started a whole new revolution in superhero movies. One for superhero movies, period. One for Marvel Cinematic Universe specifically. But Iron Man, at the very end, like, I'm just that guy. I will stay to the end. I do want to look at, the credits, and I do want to see, are they going to put something at the end? Just because. And I remember sitting there in the movie theater fairly alone, and all of a sudden, like, you start hearing stuff going on, and I actually saw this with my sister. No, I didn't see this one with my sister. I saw Iron Man 2 with my sister. I forget who I went to see Iron Man 1 with. But anyway, regardless, I went to see Iron Man 1, and it was literally like, at the very end, all of a sudden, there's this dude, and I didn't even see it was Nick Fury at first. Excuse me, I knew it was Nick Fury. I knew it was the Ultimate Avengers version of Nick Fury, the Ultimates version of the Earth 1610 Ultimates universe. That's the word I'm looking for. I didn't even realize it was Samuel L. Jackson at first. That had to come on to me a little bit later when I'm walking home or driving home, whatever. And I think I was walking to my car and I was like, it actually sounded like Samuel L. Jackson's voice. Huh? No way. Make no mistake, I went and saw the movie again later, and yeah, I confirmed, like, that's Samuel L. Jackson, but get these snakes off my plane, man. But, like, that was amazing, because also, what did he say at the very end? He says, I want to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. And I peed my pants and soiled the chair. They had to actually come in and remove the chair. They tried to clean it, didn't work. They actually had to replace the chair. So there's one brand new chair in that movie theater right now, sparkling and pristine, while all the other ones are dreary and dirty. So, like, that's how excited I got. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was that amazing. I'm just like, did you just threaten me with the Avengers? Because, okay, more, thank you, may I have another? And then they did the Hulk, all right? The Hulk, I actually got in for an early screening because I was working at a bookstore in the Monmouth Mall in New Jersey, Monmouth County. And people came in and were like, hey, you want to pass these out to your customers and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't even understand how these worked, but they're just trying to fill the seats because they're going to have local press in there for an early screening, and they want the movie theater to look as full as possible. So you can get in for free if you stand on a really long line and you get there before the movie theater actually fills up. There are a lot of people who came after me who were just like, what do you mean I can't get in? Yeah, it was pretty bad. They were checking us for, cell phones with the cameras on them and things like that, and woof, rough stuff. Anyway, so I went in and I watched it. Had a really bad experience with some dude who stole a T-shirt from me. I was wearing green, just coincidentally, and they were like, "Hey, anybody's wearing green, raise your hand. I'm going to throw you a T-shirt, a Hulk T-shirt." And the guy threw the T-shirt in my direction. I was like, "All right." I was the last one. I was like, "All right." Grabbed it. Punk in front of me grabbed it, and I'm like, "Is he really going to fight?" And he went like this. Is like, let him have it. Grabbed it, gave it to his boss who's next to him, this girl, and like, "Oh, sorry, man." It's like, brother, we both know what kind of person you are, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Just no need. Have the shirt. I can go out and buy one. You know what I'm saying? You're the pauper who feels the need to steal. So hey, it's all good, man. Do you need $1 also? Do you need to eat today? So not worth getting into that. Not worth getting into a row with the guy. So I saw it early, and they didn't even wait for the end. I waited until the end anyway. I was one of the last people in there, and I'm waiting. What if they have something at the end? But they didn't want to wait. They put it immediately afterwards, and there's Tony Stark shows up. I thought they were going to have Nick Fury in it, but no. They want to make sure it's solidified. Tony Stark shows up and says, "Hey, so let's talk about the Avengers Initiative." Yeah, that was just so amazing the way they did that every single one of us just we flipped out. And how could you not? Dark Universe, Justice League, Superman. Is it that hard to watch your competitors and see what works and make that work also? I don't think it should be. Rise of the Midnight Suns. Wesley, sorry, I'm actually missing a lot over here, sorry. Okay, Manuel. Blade is all about style when it comes to costume design. Totally be fashion designer with the time. Yeah, it really was. But more than that, he wasn't a ninja. And Blade was a ninja. Like, Wesley Snipes was a ninja. I know he's only got a second-degree black belt in kickboxing, I believe, which is still, that was at the time. I don't know what he got in since. But he still keeps himself in pretty good shape, and he's an amazing actor. Keeps himself in really good shape. Wesley Snipes is badass as Blade. You're right, Dick. You are correct. Also, Dick says, Rise of the Midnight Suns debuted Night Stalkers. Yes, that's right. Holy crap, how did I even forget about that? It didn't last particularly long. The Knights, that brought them together as a team. They've been in certain different... It's funny, I was actually just... I'm just all over the place here. I was actually thinking about going out and trying to find Marvel 2-in-1, just kind of a side note here. Trying to find Marvel 2-in-1 issues number 93 and 94. 93 was, I believe, the first appearance of Tattermedallion, who is a really cool character. This is actually in the Night Shift. That's why Night Stalkers remind me of Night Shift. And I just, huge fan. And the next issue actually wasn't the debut of Shroud, but it was the issue that actually showed that he was blind. He actually had scarring all over his eyes, and it showed some of the powers he has, which is amazing. So yeah, Ghost Rider and Blade, perfect for Doctor Strange 2. Yeah, I'm just going to let that sit. I'm going to let that sit out there for a little while because, yeah, that would be insanely good. Underworld franchise wanted to use Blade, but Marvel Universe said no, think they have plans for him. You're exactly right. At the same time, Kate Beckinsale indicated that there's a possibility that something was actually worked out. So I would imagine that Kate Beckinsale has more clout than most of the producers in the Underworld series at this point, like she is the series. But yeah, nonetheless, forget about it. I would like to see her in there, but yes, you're right. That was actually the thing that made everybody realize that there is something going on, because if he said no, that means that MCU must be saying yes, which he kind of is the MCU. Brevin Campbell 12. What's up, brother? Y'all late. Yeah, I usually do this a lot earlier, but I'm thinking about moving it to 12 noon because my kids are taking a nap at that time. It does make life a lot easier, for me at least, in that regard. Timo, what's up, Timo Harry? Good day, Professor. Can't imagine I got in a live podcast. See, and that's the thing. There are more people actually currently watching because it's a little bit later in the day. People don't always wake up as early as I do. Cool side, Dick says, cool side for Ross Stark scene. It was cool side not for Rick. Maybe it was side note for Ross and Rick scene. Yeah, having William Hurt, and who played General Ross, and Robert Downey Jr., who is an amazing Tony Stark, the ultimate Tony Stark. Yeah, that actually was really cool. Like, it is good to go back and see that, them just sitting in the bar. You kind of want to see, like, what was the conversation afterwards when they sat down and just started rapping with each other, On that note, speaking of the Dark Universe as I was before, it's funny that the original person they were trying to cast for the Iron Man movie was Tom Cruise. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but dude, you're talking about one of the big, like, aside from The Mummy, which just... everything was wrong here. Like, mistakes that they made for that one trailer, which didn't sync up the words with the movement of the mouth and the scenes that were actually happening. Like, there'd be an explosion on the screen, and then you'd hear the explosion, at a different time in the scene. Like, come on, man, how do you mess up something like that? On top of that, the idea that it debuted a week after a superhero movie. Granted, it was just Wonder Woman, and it was a DC movie, and yeah, I think that nobody, after the fact, yes, of course, amazing movie, but before the fact, there were a lot of us who were extremely skeptical, and even the people who were all rah, rah, rah for it were clearly hoping a lot more than anything else, but debuting it during a week after any superhero movie guarantees that you're not going to be a number one. Like, you're not going to knock a superhero movie out of the top spot of a box. Like, what do I know? They did it for Batman versus Superman, right? the worst drop off ever. So you know what? It was a good gamble. You know what? Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm thinking on the fly here. I'm thinking on the run. It was a rough gamble to do that, but it didn't pan out. That's the thing. Like you took betting odds in Vegas. Betting odds, usually go with betting odds, but sometimes the die are just going to fall in a way that you did not expect it to happen. And there you go, man. And that's the case here. If it would have worked out the way they planned, and that would have taken number one to the box office, that would have been insanely good for the movie, But it just didn't pan out that way. So it is what it is. Legit, it just is what it is. But aside from that, I think he would have been a good, maybe even a great Tony Stark. The thing is that since he did say, no, I'm not going to do this movie, and they wound up taking that huge chance on Robert Downey Jr., who has fallen off the wagon more times than I can possibly name, legitimately. Just forget about it. All the people who took chances on him, he quoted Mel Gibson as taking a chance on him, for Air America, and he still wound up dropping the ball on that too, like he just constantly screwing things up. All the great movies he was in, and then goes on a bender. And I feel horrible for him. Like, and he's tough as nails for being able to get by all of that stuff. Like, he didn't give up on himself. Who cares who gave up on him? He didn't give up on himself, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? I never held anything against him. I'm simply stating history here. So Marvel took a huge chance on Robert Downey Jr., and damn, did it ever pay off. I mean, could you imagine anybody else in that role right now? Even the great Tom Cruise. No, you could not. No, you could not. So, let's see. Dick Fillmore. S.h.i.e.L.D. sent Stark to get Ross off the idea of Abomination off Avengers team. Actually, yeah, the original way that it was supposed to be is that the Abomination was supposed to be in the if you saw, what was it? The one thing, it was one of the, Marvel used to always do that for their DVD and Blu-ray, their Blu-ray releases specifically, until Ultraviolet started coming out for some reason. They used to do the little shorts. That's how Agent Carter got started. Something happened on the way to New Mexico, I think it was called. Anyway, Coulson was on his way to New Mexico, whatever it was. Anyway, he was on his way to New Mexico, the magical place to, at the end of Iron Man 2, which would have been the beginning of Thor, the first Thor movie, where he was going to see the hammer just sitting there in the middle of a pit in a crater in New Mexico. And he stopped off to meet Agent s.h.i.e.l.D., who wound up becoming a Hydra traitor for Hydra, being a traitor to a turncoat to S.h.i.e.L.D. in Captain America 2: Civil War, Winter Soldier. So that there, like, Agent s.h.i.e.L.D. was already in the market, and of course he was in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. for a while too. So big crossover there. It shows that there were, that there is some crossing over conversations going on. It's hard to arrange times to actually get a full crossover. Regardless, what they did was, what the heck was, shoot. I get so all over the place now, and I guess I really am tired. Crap. Oh, yes, there we go. The Abomination. They were originally trying to get the Abomination to join the Avengers. They were going to try and tame him and all that stuff, and it wound up working out that no, they were going to do another short where they wound up deciding to go with the Hulk instead, and they never wound up making that short. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So it was ambiguous enough that they were able to just say, "Oh yeah, we were talking about the Hulk the whole time." You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I thought Underworld just ended their movie series with that recent movie. Well, Timo, here's the thing. If somebody puts money on the table, there's the old rule. You never leave money on the table. Right? So, yeah, Michael Bay said, I'm not going to do any more Transformers movies after this. Man, if they said, listen, we'll double your salary, he'd be like, oh, you know what? I got a great idea for a Transformers movie. Listen, it goes like this, which is the exact same script for Transformers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He would definitely come back. Who else just said that also? Oh, Logan. For Logan, Patrick Stewart said, I'm done, I'm retiring, I'm not going to do any more Professor X appearances. Well, unless I was going to be in a Deadpool movie. It's like, oh, dude, come on, you're guaranteed then for that to be the case. I rather like the way that Hugh Jackman did instead. He said, I'm done, I'm never coming back as Wolverine again. Unless unless it's in an Avengers movie. So this puts a huge amount of pressure on Fox to say, what, Fox? No. Yes. Sony owns Spider-Man, and Fox has Fantastic Four and the X-Men franchises. So, now Fox has to say, we really do want Hugh Jackman back because he's awesome. But we don't want to work with the MCU because we hate Disney. Whatever, man. Whatever. But that does put a lot of pressure on them. Dick Fillmore with the one-shots. Yes, the little one-shots, which is a perfect name for them. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got. I just really wanted to talk about, the Mummy thing really, it got to me. And it did make me think, remind me of, he was, Tom Cruise was supposed to be the original Tony Stark and all that stuff, and how the MCU did it right. They did it first, and they did it right. I have no problem with copying somebody who does it right. I really don't, because it's a model that works. You want to put your own flavor on it. Look, if you cook meat, great. Why would I try and cook meat some other way until I at least learn how to do it, the right way first, your way? I could just put my own, spices and seasonings on it. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. I'm still going to make it mine. They could have just done that. Instead, they decided, no, shoehorn everything in, and you don't shoehorn things in. Whoa, that's a big. I didn't know we can get that many characters into a comment. Timo Harry, I like. Yeah, true. I like money if money is on the table. Though it seemed that Celine was becoming like some new stylized elder of the vampires. Yes, and that would be a great story, wouldn't it? Come on. This way she could do that even if she's old. I guess she's technically old, but she looks too good to ever call her old, right? She's vintage. She's vintage fine. But literally, she could be as old as she wants and still be doing these movies. She would just simply be an elder. And you get a body double, younger, who can actually do the moves. If she has to do a quick little, kung fu chop scene, whatever. But to finish off, I hate, though, that Michael Scott Speedman's character, yes, was killed. Spoilers, dude. I didn't see the last one. It's okay. I wasn't planning on it. Now I actually might, though. That makes me, I might actually see it. I did like his character. It was cool, but, the whole hybrid vampire wolf thing, probably somebody who never saw the Underworld movies right now. They're screaming right now, Bill, spoilers! So, what do you call it? Wow, Scott Speedman's. Scott Speedman's actually a pretty good actor. I got no problem with him. He's a good-looking guy. He can hold his own in the movies. I feel like he has great interaction with all the characters who I've ever seen him on screen with. I don't know why he's not a bigger deal. It's just me. Dick says, I'd love to see Hugh Jackman in Infinity War as friend of Doctor Strange, who watches the house when they go to fight Thanos. No. Sorry. I want to see him fighting Thanos. Timo says, yeah, true. She looks good. I would like to see the Lycans do a major strike back after all their losses. Yes. Yeah, at some point, I'm going to refer this back to WWE a little bit, because I love WWE. I just haven't been watching WWE lately. I will instead go to the message boards and I will read the results of the matches at that point, because wasting 3 hours of my life watching... I'm actually glad that WWE is on Netflix, YouTube, because I can go back and watch any individual match or highlights, that go on. I can just watch a couple minutes of highlights and good. The highlights are so much better than being stuck to a TV for 3 freaking hours, sometimes a little bit longer, watching all this crazy stuff. It's killing me. I know you said losses. I fixed it. Nobody had to know. What do you call it? I can't stand watching 3 hours of WWE. And SmackDown is great, but I still don't really want to spend 2 hours watching that necessarily. Unless it starts picking up even more. But whatever. I'm going to repeat something that the Solomonster, Jason Solomon, He's got a podcast that comes out every Sunday. I literally, that's the, I listen to a bunch of podcasts. They're mostly history and scientific. I just started listening to a political one also recently. But what do you call it? The only one that I listen that is pure entertainment for me is Salamonster Sounds Off. I love listening to his podcasts where he's been going on for like 8 years strong, just reviewing things and talking about things and all that stuff. And one of his name for Bray Wyatt. Okay, I love Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is awesome, but he calls him instead of the Eater of Souls, he calls him the Eater of Pins. All right, because he's always getting pinned. He's always losing. When has Bray Wyatt won recently? You know, he's never made to look strong. He comes out and he does this kick-ass promo. After a while, you're just like, you can do this awesome promo, and you're gonna get beaten up. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a good match. You're going to do your thing, which looks awesome, and you should win. But no, Roman Reigns is going to beat you. Dean Ambrose is going to beat you. Seth Rollins is going to beat you. All these guys are just they're going to beat you. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be beat, and you're going to eat a pin. So you are the eater of pins. Wins and losses do count. So, like you were saying, Timo, seeing the Lycans constantly lose like that, I don't see them as a viable threat. And I wonder if they could even make a new threat and just have some zombies? I mean, I'm sorry. I heard this rumor on the grapevine, hushed rumor, that that zombies were actually kind of a big deal today. Am I wrong? So, like, legit, why not have, like, zombies? Have golems, okay? Not golem like Lord of the Rings. Golems like Frankenstein, all right? Man-made creations. Why not have something like that Selena has to fight, you know? And just do something different. Stop with the constant Lycans all the time, because they're just going to get their asses beat. You know, like, do something different, you know? Actually make it a viable threat that makes me think, holy crap, did that just happen? You know what I'm saying? But, whatever, man, whatever. Dick says they will give Wolverine's arc in Infinity Gauntlet to Black Panther. What was his arc? The only arc that I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, the only arc he had was his face-to-face with Thanos, where he got turned into rubber. His adamantium claws and bones were turned into laced bones, by the way. I saw somebody online who's like, oh, yeah. He had his bones replaced with adamantium. That's why they always say adamantium bones. Sorry, do you even comic? I kind of made that up. Like, literally, do you even read comics? No. He's always had adamantium-laced bones. Laced. Molecularly bonded and laced to his bones and his ligaments. Okay? In the Ultimate Universe, they were not attached to the ligaments, so you could actually rip him in half. You know what I'm saying? Colossus ripped off his leg one time. The Hulk actually ripped him in half. Nick Fury actually severed his head, had his head separated from his body. You can't do that with Wolverine in the Earth 616 standard universe, because his ligaments also have the body. Not enough that he can't move. I know adamantium is a fairly rigid steel, but the way that they did it was that he can move. He has full range of motion, but there's still that lining there, so that you can't pull his, like, which issue was it? I think it was issue number 8 of Volume 2 of the Wolverine series that came out. Chris Claremont was on that one. What do you call it? And there was a vampire lord, all right, like about as powerful as Count Dracula. And he went to Madripoor, and there's Patch, Wolverine, Logan, and he's trying to pull him, and he's like, why can't I rip you in half? And Wolverine does a double kick to his face. Reminds me of something that Captain America always does. Does this double drop kick thing to his face, and he's like, adamantium laced bones, but he doesn't need to know that. You know, it's like awesome. You know, so you see in the Ultimate Universe, but adamantium's not the same in the Ultimate Universe, anyways. You know, adamantium in the Ultimate Universe is more like secondary adamantium. It's extremely strong, but by no means unbreakable. Just ridiculously freaking strong, and resistance to psychic attacks, which is interesting. Interesting. You can't read Wolverine's mind in the Ultimate Universe, even though he's dead. What do you call it? Vibranium is MCU's hardest substance. Yes, it is. But it's not so much that it's hard. Vibranium is different than, what do you call that? Adamantium actually is created from vibranium. what do you call it? The one professor. What the heck was not Professor Bill? Different professor in the Marvel comics. I know his name. Maybe if you guys can check it out really quick. I don't want to mess with my stream. But the one professor who with an H, was it? You know what? No, I'm thinking of Phineas Horton. Different. The professor who originally made Captain America's shield. He was just experimenting with the little bit of vibranium that he had, and he mixed the vibranium with iron, not steel, specifically iron, and an unknown catalyst that was introduced while he fell asleep in this automated process. Which, so we don't actually know, and there's no way that we can possibly replicate Captain America's shield. Now, if I ever had the Infinity Gauntlet, I would totally, check that out. Or if I ever stood over top of the Infinity Well, I'd be like, let me go back and see what that unknown because that would be a great, that's a story that I would love to see, but I don't think should ever be told. I think it'd be great if, what would be a great story? Tell the story. You never say what the unknown catalyst is that went in there, but you say that somebody like, I don't know, some time-traveling hero or something like that went in and he introduced the substance. You know what I'm saying? But we never find out what the substance actually is. You know what I'm saying? And the doctor will find out what it is, but then he'll have his memory erased or something like that. Or Captain America will find out, and he's never going to tell anybody because he knows what could happen if you did have more access to this kind of, the substance that was made to make his shield, that'd be a great little story. I would read the hell out of that. You know what I'm saying? I would review that with the quickness. But regardless, adamantium was that doctor tried to replicate the process, wound up creating adamantium instead, which is denser, technically harder, but doesn't absorb sound. So while vibranium is and always has been more durable than than adamantium, adamantium is stronger. It is also heavier. So, think about it. If they bonded vibranium to Wolverine's bones and his claws, we'd never be able to hear him, right? That's a very special padded vibranium that's on that's woven into Black Panther's suit, and there are suppressors in there to allow to make it so that it will absorb vibration and things like that, but it won't absorb the sound. It's not tuned to that frequency. It'll let that go so that he can talk. What do you call it? On top of that, the only vibranium that's actually exposed is his claws, but that's not Wakandan vibranium. That's Antarctic vibranium. That's the anti-metal that actually melts other metals, including adamantium. So there's that. So if anybody ever wonders, Black Panther versus Wolverine, go. Easy. Black Panther. Wolverine actually gets melted in half. You know what I'm saying? No heat necessary. Actually melt through molecular bonds without the need for heat. So there's that. No, a lot of people won't like that answer, but anyway. That scene where the Hulk throws Wolverine and he's crawling back to the torso in the Andes, damn, yeah. True Mate, hey, what's up, brother? Yes, that was actually really amazing. On top of that, I don't know if you guys, how long you guys been collecting comic books for, but that was a 6-issue miniseries, and those first 2 issues came out, and it was like 16 or 18 months later that the issue 3, 4, 5, and 6 came out. Yeah. For some reason, there's actually, I know the reason, but it's a really long-winded reason. You can look it up easy, or I'll actually have a conversation about that one of these podcasts. But yeah, that was actually a huge deal. Where I got the movie, and we're sitting there wondering what the frick happened here. He rips him in half and throws half it away, and what's going on? What happens next? All those months later. In fact, I forget which issue it was of Ultimate X-Men. I want to say 27? What the hell do I know? Whatever issue it was, Wolverine and Colossus get into a fight with each other. Colossus was actually a homosexual in this, and he really liked Wolverine. Wolverine simply wasn't into it, though. You figure why, because he's got that soul patch, and that looked... You know what? I'm not going to go there. Anyway, plus his kids, his kids were actually Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and they were flat out, unabashedly incestuous there. So there was a lot of sex stuff going on in the Ultimate Universe. But at one point, they got into a fight. Wolverine actually cut open Colossus. He wasn't able to transfer it back. He was able to, but if he would have, like the metal organs were in there and everything, and they're like, listen, it will heal, but it will heal as fast as you would heal as a normal human. Here's the deal. If you turn back into a normal human again, you're going to bleed out instantly. All the exposure, disease, whatever, you will drop dead almost instantly. So you need to just relax and let it heal organically. There's that. So, but for Colossus's part, he ripped off one of Wolverine's legs, and they're both laying in the hospital bed next to each other, and two hospital beds. I know the whole Colossus thing's probably weirding some people out now. Get it out of your head. Two hospital beds. They're right next to each other, though. And Colossus is like, I'm really sorry. And Wolverine's like, forget about it. The Hulk did far worse than this. Let me tell you about that story. And that's how that issue ends. And I literally looked at it. It was like, Marvel is trolling us. You mother fathead. You are actually trolling me right now because I want to know what's happening next. They dropped the ball on it anyway. Wolverine's spirit animal was a panda and all sorts of crazy things. So whatever. So anyway, Lycans won in the history film. Yes, the Timo Harris. The Lycans did win in the history film. I think that was the third movie. Which, yeah, but that's just, again, that's a history one. That was the prequel. Golems move too slow. Well, that's the thing. Golems don't. That's like saying zombies move too slow. You know what I'm saying? Why do zombies have to move slow? You see the fast zombies, and it's like, oh my god, they're freaking terrifying. From like World War Z and movies like that, terrifying. Why not have a? You know what's a good example of a golem? A scarecrow. I play D&D a lot, and the scarecrow is actually a golem, and they're not like particularly solid, but they move fast, and when they have their weapons like a pitchfork, they could jack a fool up. Plus, you rip a scarecrow apart, he could just pull the stuffing back together again and get back up and go after you. You know what I'm saying? So golems could move fast. Depends on what kind of golem you're going to have. You're going to have a big, heavy stone golem. Yeah, I see your point. Frankenstein appeared slow, but there was a Frankenstein movie that came out that I didn't like at all. I actually did not finish watching the last. Maybe it was 10, 20 minutes, whatever. He was actually fighting on the side of the angels. Anyway, yes. They could technically move fast. Zombies don't have the physical strength to fight vampires. You're right, but technically a zombie wouldn't have the physical strength to fight you and me, right? The trick about them is that they come in masses and hordes, and they overpower you and overwhelm you. You know what I'm saying? That's what's always been scary about those, like the George Romero zombie movies. That's the scary part, is that there's just too many of them. So, I hear you. I think somebody can make it work. And besides, there's more than just that out. How about them versus the Highlanders, right? Where vampires versus Highlanders. Let's try that. I don't know. Maybe that would actually suck. All the movies sucked after the first one anyway. That's a good idea though on the zombies. Dick Fillmore arc being unlikely badass due to face-to-face with Thanos. Yes. Yeah, nobody's gonna. You know what? The only scene that I'm really, really, really looking forward to versus Thanos would be the Captain America one, and of course I'm going to get to that when I do the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. That was, like, I'm a huge Captain America mark. I love Captain America, and there's been many Captain America scenes. In fact, there have been many Captain America moments that don't even involve Captain America. That's how good he is. And that scene where he literally walks up like all the other heroes are dead. Every single other hero is dead. And he just goes walking up to him and gets up in Thanos' face. And like the exchange between these two is just like, dude, you're literally getting in the face of a god. Like a god who Infinity and Infinity, is that her name? And Death, Mistress Death, and Eternity, and Lord Master Order, and Lord Chaos, and all these guys, Galactus, and everybody are terrified of, and you just got in this dude's face. That's sick. And he didn't blink. And technically he didn't die. We'll get into that when I actually start doing the thing. Like Cap being the last oh man, you already what do you call it? Dick Fillmore already got up. Like Cap being in the last to face Thanos. Yes, I didn't read your comment, but yes, you said it before I did. What do you call it? That was creepy. Wolverine watching from the bushes and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Yes, exactly. That was just so creepy, dude. Like, you're actually watching them. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't go out there like, you little freaks, what are you doing? And slap them with the adamantium hand. Oh, man. Like, really? At least he didn't join them. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to drop that off right there. All right, let's get ready to get out of here pretty soon. I'm already over an hour. Ultimates and Bendis ruined comics for a decade for me. Okay, Dick, I hear you, but who did Ultimate Spider-Man again? That's the thing, man. Like, Ultimate Spider-Man was amazing. Like, that was just so amazing. Reimagining Spider-Man, making him young again. That was so amazing. They actually, because there wasn't supposed to be an Ultimates universe. It was just supposed to be, here, man. Here's this universe where there's a Spider-Man, and we're going to start all that. We're going to reboot this stuff again. You still got your Spider-Man over here, but I want to tell my own Spider-Man story, you know? And he deserved it. He deserved it after he was screwed out of writing Spider-Man for the Max comics. You know what I'm saying? He made Jessica Jones instead. Bendis has done some questionable things. Bendis has done some dumb things. I look more to the good things that he's done, and they were amazing to me. I am a fan of Bendis. I will not shy away from saying that he screws up sometimes, in my opinion, just as a fan's opinion. And also, it's not cool that he doesn't really take into consideration other people's crossovers. You know what I'm saying? His events, I've got an event, do all your stuff. You gotta put your stuff in with my stuff. Okay, but then when somebody else does an event, he's like, yeah, no, I'm Brian Michael Bendis. That's kind of like it's a dick move. That's what it is. So, let's see what else. World War Z, Timo says, World War Z was super good, but they were supposed to do a sequel. They are still apparently going to do a sequel, but that was announced some time ago. Makes you think they are having cold feet or something now. Yeah, because the ending wasn't particularly satisfying, and they don't want to screw that up. I, Frankenstein. Yes, that was the one. I, Frankenstein. Couldn't get into it myself as well. Thank you, true mate. It was I, Frankenstein. Thank you. Couldn't remember the name of that. And Aaron Eckhart. I couldn't remember his name either. That's why I kind of shied away from talking about it too much. Aaron Eckhart. I was going to say, the guy who played Two-Face. And no, I don't mean Billy D. Williams. Look that one up. Let's see. Timo says, not changing the subject. You can change the subject. But I wonder why they're being so tight-lipped on Captain Marvel right now for Infinity War movie. Apparently, they're not being too tight-lipped. First off, they confirmed beyond the shadow of a doubt that Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, absolutely will be in the movie. And it's not just going to be some little cameo thing. He's actually going to be a major part of the movie. So there's that. On top of that, which is good because who knows where he is right now. Well, we're going to find out. On top of that, she is... It's not been announced that she's going to be in Infinity War, I don't think, but it's filming in the exact same place. Right? Captain Marvel will be filmed immediately after, the Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? So, which actually I think is supposed to start this January. Yeah, I think it's supposed to start, whatever. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be this January. It's supposed to start something like that. I can't remember. I got too many things in my head right now. But anyway, yeah, they've already confirmed that it's going to be immediately afterwards in the exact same location. So, which means they're probably going to be using a lot of the same scenery, which means that we're probably going to get Captain Marvel in Infinity War. That being the case, that's going to be her origin story. You know what I'm saying? They're going to throw in a really quick origin story. You'll probably see something where all of a sudden, I wonder if we're going to get Marvel. That would be kind of cool, you know? And that's actually a funny thing also that I was thinking about recently, because I got into a discussion with people like, oh, nobody stays dead except for Uncle Ben. When's the last time you've seen Marvel? Just saying. I'm just saying. So, yeah, man. Like, I don't know about being necessarily tight-lipped, but I think that it's going to be. I think that Captain Marvel could very well be good. It's Marvel, you know what I'm saying? It's Marvel. They're going to learn the good from Wonder Woman, and they're going to ignore, or move away from the bad. They're going to shy away from the bad from Wonder Woman, and I think they're going to make a pretty amazing movie. That's just my opinion. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. Changing, not chamgling. Yeah, I got you. Don't have to. You don't have to correct too much. Wait, did somebody else say that, or did I say that? Either way, people make mistakes. Timo says, "Oh, okay. I thought she was in the film. Good thing I attend CBU. Ah, yes, tuition free, my brother. Tuition free." Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up now. Actually, in about 15 minutes, the Nerdarchy podcast is going to start, and I hate that I missed the last 2 or 3. I know I missed the last 2. I forget if I missed the last 3. But so go and check out nerdarchy.com. Actually, I do an article there every Monday. But actually, Nerdarchy on YouTube, just Nerdarchy, one word, on YouTube. I'm going to go over there right now. See what came out this morning. And their live chat should start in about just under 15 minutes or so. And when it starts, I'll be in the chat there. So you guys can hang out with me. It's just going to be an hour. They're actually better at it than I am at keeping the time. Truemate, Truemate, I know I'm going to see you over there. What did you think of The Flash and the new Homecoming movie? Oh, a Flash. I don't have a problem with it. I know they made him an Indian character. I don't have an issue with it. None of that stuff bothers me. I thought that he did a good enough job. Do I want to see him as Agent Venom? No, I don't. But MCU's probably not going to do anything with that anyways, now that Avi Arad's putting his grubby little filthy freaking hands all over, Venom coming out in 2018. Like, they're literally going to put this movie out in a year. In a year. Like, for the love of God, man. Marvel's got this all these amazing, what do you call it? Not flow chart. Basically, they are a walking flow chart. They've got a template, all right? All these templates to make great movies. You know what I'm saying? You don't like the template because it gets old after a while. I understand, but it does still work, and it is different enough, and they are experimenting in just whatever. But when has Avi Arad ever made a good movie? You know what I'm saying? Like, once he actually takes over and says, okay, listen, guys, I got my Spider-Man hat on. I am Spider-Man. Thank me for everything great to do with Spider-Man. And you should thank me for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, too. That was me. No, it wasn't. Shut up. They gave you credits. They gave you name recognition. And I know they gave name recognition in Iron Man and in The Incredible Hulk. I don't remember if it was in any of the other movies after that. But it was literally like, okay, you have some kind of share in here. Here's your royalties for it. Here's your name in the credits. Get the hell out of my movie. Don't even come onto my set. You will be shot on sight. At least I kind of hope they would say that. Beanbag bullets would be fine with me. I don't actually want anybody to be shot and killed, but beanbags are fine with me. I'm just saying. I wouldn't mind if Avi Arad got shot with a beanbag. So it'd be like that scene from The Rundown with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Sean William Scott. That would be a good scene. Anyway, so yes. Rosario Dawson was in that too. How do I forget her? So and she also pulled out of the New Mutants movie. That is interesting. Was it a New Mutants movie she pulled out of? She pulled out of one of the movies that I think it was New Mutants, but whatever. She pulled out of one of them to stick with the MCU ones. Lovely. Glad to hear it. So anyway, I don't have any problem. I know it. It's so sad. I hear you. Whatever. Anyway, regardless, I don't think he did a bad job for the actual role that he was playing. For anything future, like action scenes and things like that, like real action, him being the center of attention for action, I don't see it. But who knows? The guy might decide to, get into even better shape. I don't know if that's possible, but, whatever, get into even better shape, start doing some, crazy stuff and get involved in a whole bunch of his own stunts like Tom Holland. Oh, my God. But, whatever. I could be wrong. I'm just saying for now, what I saw for now, I don't see him doing much else with the character, but whatever. I genuinely don't have a problem with it. The way I see it, you could have people complain about anything. There's that old, is it an Aesop's fable? I know it's in lots of different fables, lots of different religions, mythologies, whatever. The idea of the old man and his grandson and the donkey, and these three are walking. They're all just walking side by side to go to market to sell the donkey. And then some people see him, they're like, look at these knuckleheads. They got a perfectly good donkey and nobody's riding on it. Duh. So the grandfather goes and sits the son on the grandson on the donkey. The donkey, some more people come by later, and they're like, look at this young boy. How rude. Sitting down his young self while the old man has to walk. How rude. So they switch. Now the old man's on the donkey. Some more people come walking by, and they're like, look at that mean old man making his poor young, grandson walk while he gets to sit all comfy on the, he's got feet of his own. So now they both go on the donkey. At this point, more people come walking by, and they've got opinions, and they're just like, oh, look at these, well, they're weighing down this poor donkey, all this, equipment that they got in the first place, and now they're both on the two. That's just messed up. So they decide to tie the donkey's legs together onto a stick, and they carry the donkey. So they're walking across this bridge, and it's a very narrow bridge, and the donkey gets scared, shakes, and falls off the bridge and drowns. So that says a lot about the opinions of people, right? Don't listen to what people say. Like people, oh, blah, 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 blah. Really? Yeah. Opinions are like, well, you know what I'm going to say with that. So anyway, guys, that's what I'm going to leave it as. Seriously, you can have a positive reaction to his character, his portrayal. You can have a negative reaction to it. And all of those opinions are perfectly valid. But they are just opinions. They're not the catalyst for change unless there are a lot of people who agree with you. That's called momentum, right? And you got that momentum, the amplification of your opinion, a whole bunch of opinions that are of the same mind. Well, now you're talking about popular opinion, which is very different from individual opinion or cult opinion. So, literally, that's the thing. I've got opinions too. And I'm kind of stoic in that regard, where I just kind of look at it as, cool. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's an interesting way of taking it. I like it or I don't like it. I don't feel the need to go on message boards and start, so whatever. It's just my old age. I'm sure that's all it is. Anyway, guys, again, thank you so much for 1,000+ subs. That is pretty freaking awesome. What do you call it? I'm going to, I didn't actually go into it. Right now, I'm going to, let me push play right now, not play, but click now. You saw it first. I just now put up Scorpion, explained in a minute, because of an after credit scene that I'm not going to talk about. Thank you, Timo, for the happy birthday. On top of that, I already recorded. I now have to sync up sound and edit. I'm not going to do a whole lot of heavy editing, just editing where I stop to look at my notes again, so that I don't get things out of order. I actually did Amazing Spider-Man. Oh my God, I was so tired when I did it this morning, but I'm actually still wearing the same shirt and everything. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 349 and 350. That's actually what I actually did the script for that, and I didn't know. Excuse me. That's what I'm putting out next week. Next Saturday, I'm putting out Amazing Spider-Man issue number 349 and 350. That is a battle between Spider-Man versus Dr. Doom. I'm going to put, so you guys, spoilers! That is the story, the Spotlight on, in my Spotlight on Story playlist that I put out. I'm trying to do a lot more stories, storylines and things like that. So next week will be that. The week after will be Infinity Quest. And the reason why I'm delaying Infinity Quest, even though it's completely written, is because I want to make sure I do justice to Infinity Gauntlet. The other Infinity stuff that comes afterwards, that can wait for a little while. But I don't feel like I'd be doing it justice to put out Infinity Quest and then not put out Infinity Gauntlet immediately afterwards. So that's why I'm pushing it back. But today, a little bit later on in the day, I'll be putting out issue number 20 of Amazing Spider-Man. Kind of issue 19 and 20, which is the first appearance of Scorpion. So, yeah, that's the reason why I felt, instead of doing the in-betweener today, that's the reason why I did Scorpion today, because I found out that he's in the end credits scene of Spider-Man Homecoming. Just the rumor. There's no armor or anything like that, but it's just the thing where he shows, hey, I exist and expect to see me soon. Anyway. That being said, I'm going to go over to Nerdarchy on YouTube right now. All right, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.